Hey there YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today we are doing part 2 of predicting the Smash roster, with part 2 being the newcomers. No, I have not forgotten to do part 2, I just haven't had an awful lot of time to get it recorded, so that's why I'm doing it now of all times. And just as a recap of part 1, this is what my Smash 6 roster looks like so far. And today, we will be adding to it with the newcomers I think we will get for the Smash 6 roster, which doesn't consist of just new faces, but will feature fan favourites and fighters who didn't make the roster in previous games. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? But in which order am I going to talk about each character though? Well, I'm going to talk about them in order I think they will be revealed in. But who do I think will be revealed first? Looking at past Smash games, Smash 4 started off with Villager, and Ultimate started with Inkling. I would have gone with Springman, but considering that Min Min was introduced in Ultimate, there is no new Nintendo franchise that could make their debut in Smash 6 as the first to be revealed. So I think the first reveal will be a fan favourite request. The Mario RPGs have not been represented in Smash Bros. Before, so I thought the Mario RPGs could make their debut in Smash 6. But who would be the Mario RPG rep though? Well, I've had 3 characters in mind for who could be the first Mario RPG rep. Geno from Super Mario RPG, Paper Mario from Paper Mario, and Forful from Mario and Luigi. I ruled out Paper Mario only because I decided not to make any of my newcomers variants of other fighters that are already on the roster, so Paper Mario is out. Forful wouldn't be a bad choice for the Smash roster, but I don't think it makes sense to debut Mario RPGs with a villain, so Forful is out as well. So that leaves us with Geno. He is a fan favourite after all, and with the remake of Super Mario RPG from last year being the closest we are ever gonna get to Geno returning in a title, I think Geno makes the most sense to be the Mario RPG rep, because he was a highly requested character, and Smash 6 could finally be his time, but the only thing holding Geno back from making the Smash roster is that Geno is owned by Square Enix, which is why I cut Cloud, Sephiroth, and Sora just so Geno and one other Square Enix rep, who I'm saving for later, can make their way in. This next one is the least likely on the list to happen, but I think Smash 6 could get 2 Pokemon reps. Just like the old days of Smash, where one franchise got 2 characters representing them per installment. But who would the 2 Pokemon reps for Smash 6 be? Well, I already made it clear that Lucario and Incineroar were cut from the roster, so now it's time to reveal who I cut them for. I'm predicting that the 2 Pokemon reps for Smash 6 will be a Grass type, and one from Sword and Shield. So starting off with the Pokemon replacing Incineroar, we have the Grass type Pokemon. I have 3 contenders for Grass type Pokemon, being Decidueye, Rillaboom, and Meowscarada. Rillaboom I can rule out because I've already picked a Sword and Shield rep for the Smash roster, and as much as I want Rillaboom in Smash Bros., Rillaboom would already be comparable to Donkey Kong, so I ruled him out for a reason. Meowscarada I ruled out for another Scarlet and Violet Pokemon within the DLC, but I'm not saying who it is, leaving that the only possible Grass type Pokemon to be Decidueye. I think Smash Ultimate's Pokemon rep should have been Decidueye in the first place, only because Decidueye was in Pokken Tournament Deluxe, and Decidueye could make for a more diverse moveset unlike Incineroar, and I feel like Decidueye was one of those Pokemon that was designed for Smash Bros. In mind. And just so Decidueye's potential in a Smash game isn't wasted, I included him in the video. And if Decidueye doesn't make it in, just make an all Pokemon Smash Bros. Game like that one person on Fantendo suggested. Speaking of another fan favorite Pokemon, we are now going to talk about the Pokemon I picked from Sword and Shield. If we didn't get Piranha Plant, this character would have fit perfectly in the Fighters Pass as a first party rep. But which Pokemon did I choose? It was between Toxtricity and Cinderace. But considering how popular Cinderace is, I ended up picking Cinderace in the end. And the reason I replaced Lucario with Cinderace is because the melee attacks would be too similar to Lucario, with a few sports-themed moves added into the moveset. And we can't have a Paldea Pokemon without a Galar Pokemon, so given that Galar doesn't have a rep in Smash Bros., I think putting a Galar rep in the base game can actually give Sword and Shield the recognition it deserves. I do think Decidueye and Cinderace will be revealed together in the same trailer, since they are next to each other on the roster after all, and I do think these two being the Pokemon reps of Smash 6 kind of makes more sense than bringing like a joke character like Piranha Plant into the mix. I know that this is one of the most controversial franchises in Smash Bros., but like it or not, Fire Emblem will get a new rep in Smash 6. But who is gonna be the rep exactly? I don't think they are going to do another Three Houses rep because we already have Byleth. So why not represent a Warriors game with Shez from Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes? My biggest problem with the Fire Emblem corner of the Smash roster is the lack of diversity in the movesets and arsenals, which is why I removed Lucina and Chrom, but a character like Shez wielding two blades can actually make for a more unique rep in comparison to the reps from Fire Emblem we've had in the past. And I think Smash Bros. 6 will feature two Fire Emblem reps, with the other being from Fire Emblem Engage, but I'm saving them as a newcomer for the DLC. All I can say for now is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is definite for Smash 6. But who will take the slot is a big answer. Noah? Mio? Why not both? Xenoblade is not a highly represented franchise in Smash, but introducing both Noah and Mio to the roster as separate fighters would bring us to 4 Xenoblade reps, but it wouldn't be a tag team like Pyra and Mithra, but both would have their own movesets. I haven't covered either Noah or Mio in a New Foes Appeared yet, only because I'm waiting until I've actually played the game before covering them. But Noah and Mio are likely candidates for Smash Bros. 6. While we haven't had a new franchise debut for Smash 6 yet, there isn't that many first-party franchises to look into when it comes to debuting franchises in Smash. So why not look into third-party franchises? Microsoft was one studio to make their Smash debut in Ultimate with the inclusion of Banjo-Kazooie, as well as Steve, so I think it's possible for another Microsoft rep to join the roster. But why not look into a different studio within Xbox Game Studios to see who one of the Microsoft reps for Smash 6 could be? I'm predicting we will get 3 in total for Smash 6, 1 from Activision, 1 from Blizzard, and the last from Bethesda, but I'm saving them for the DLC. But now we are looking at Blizzard. Blizzard has not made their debut in Smash yet. But who would represent Blizzard though? World of Warcraft has been ruled out only because World of Warcraft has never been represented on a Nintendo console in any form, so our only 2 Blizzard franchises that could be possible for Smash are Diablo and Overwatch. Diablo is ruled out because I already have an M-rated Microsoft rep I have picked for Bethesda, so Overwatch may have to be the first Blizzard rep for Smash Bros. The director of Overwatch has expressed interest in bringing Overwatch to the Smash roster, so this does align perfectly. I know this is a franchise that a lot of people are going to disagree with when it comes to Smash Bros representation, but who knows? An Overwatch character in Smash Bros could actually be fun. The two contenders I've picked for Overwatch are Tracer and D.Va. Tracer could be fun to play as, thanks to her blink ability, but her dual pistols would make her too similar to Bayonetta in terms of playstyle. But what about D.Va? Well, we've never had a mech pilot in Smash before, and maybe being able to switch between D.Va and her mech form could make for a fun fighter within the Smash roster. The only constraint with D.Va joining the roster is her mech would have to be scaled down to around the same size as Ridley, with D.Va herself being around the same size as Zero Suit Samus. D.Va would have both her Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 designs as palette swaps. Now we are on to the fighting genre with the Street Fighter rep who would replace Ken. Given that Terry didn't make the cut and Kazuya is being replaced with another Tekken character, Mortal Kombat can't make it into Smash Bros. Due to the franchise being banned in Japan, so the only possible fighting game rep we can slip in there is another Street Fighter character, and Chun-Li is actually my pick for that. She would have the front-facing gimmick just like Ryu, but would have a different moveset. And now this third-party franchise, being one of the first third-party franchises to be represented in Smash Bros., is overdue for a new rep, considering that Final Fantasy has 2 reps in Ultimate, and the Sonic the Hedgehog series is due to have a new rep introduced. While I can't cramp too many Sonic characters as newcomers, I've picked one as a full fighter and one as an echo. And the full fighter I've selected is Knuckles, which I think fits perfectly for melee attacks, and I think it will take a few installments to complete the Sonic side of the Smash roster, but hopefully in the next all-fighter Smash game in like 2038, we'll probably have them all there. And now, for the first Echo Fighter of the video, is another character from Sonic, which I think will be revealed in the same trailer as Knuckles, and I picked Shadow as an Echo Fighter for Sonic. I could see Shadow having a few major differences from Sonic, such as his bite from the games, while borrowing a few moves from Sonic, but not all of them. And now, we are on to Activision's side of Activision Blizzard, and I think you might already know who it is. Crash Bandicoot. How has one of gaming's mascots not made its way into the Smash roster yet? We have Mario, Sonic, Pikachu, Pac-Man, and Mega Man, but still no Crash Bandicoot. I think Smash 6 is the right installment to introduce Crash into the Smash roster. Crash would take inspiration from his Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time design, while his moveset comes from 1, 2, and 3. And while one other mascot would be missing from Smash 6's roster because of the inclusion of another character in the DLC, Crash deserves his place on the Smash roster. Now this was one Echo Fighter I was expecting to be included in Ultimate, and that is Octoling from Splatoon 2. The only other Splatoon rep I would see being realistic. And it would make sense for this franchise to be represented again only because Smash Bros did have an impact on Persona as a franchise. Only because there were people who had no idea what Persona was until Joker's inclusion in the Fighter's Pass. But who am I including this time? In the base game, I'm going to include an Echo Fighter for Joker, and the DLC, I will have a character from a different Persona game. And the character I landed on for the Echo Fighter is Violet from Persona 5 Royal. The major difference from Joker is that she would use her persona, Cinderace, instead of Arsene like Joker uses. So the last two to be revealed for Smash 6 would be the first ever indie reps in a Smash Bros. Game. And I think these two would be the appropriate candidates for this because of their Mii fighter costume inclusion in Ultimate. And it also makes sense to include them both as fighters for Smash 6. The first of the two indie reps is Cuphead with his palette swap Mugman. The reason I think Cuphead would be revealed second to last is because Cuphead would have a unique animation style from the rest of the roster. And we have seen characters like Mr. Game & Watch, as well as Steve, who have their own animation styles, and Cuphead, I think, will remain 2D for Smash 6, and instead of recycling character animations for Cuphead, I think they will redo the character animations from scratch and add some originals for Smash Brothers. But bear in mind, Smash 6 would be announced 2 years before it even launches, so they would have time to work on Cuphead as a character. And the last to be revealed for the base game would be Sans from Undertale. The reason I didn't choose Frisk is because Sans was included as a Mii costume in Ultimate. And given how many memes have come out of Sans over the years, I think Sans will be the Undertale rep and not Frisk. Sans will be 3D unlike Cuphead. So guys, what did you think of part 2 of my roster prediction for Smash 6? Now to update the roster, here is what the roster now looks like with the newcomers added in. But don't forget, we have one more part to go, so anyone can join the roster within the DLC at this point. So, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another video like this one in the future. And I will see you all in a future video. BB8 out.